Hey guys, Ashlane here, coming at you today with the rest of the Hades sneak peek for the big Hades update in Gods of Olympus. Before we get started with some gameplay action, let's talk about Hades a little bit. Hades actually has much higher health than other ranged heroes, and his strength stats are about the same as Apollo's. His fireball attack has a chance of converting enemy units into skeleton allies, which is really cool. So let's go ahead and see Hades in action, including all his abilities, as well as summon Cerberus, and let's start with reanimate here. So this is his the first ability rather, and what he does is he can go ahead and summon corpses from fallen soldiers all throughout the battlefield. It's a cool Athena-like summon hoplite ability, and it actually has 3 functions, which we'll actually get to towards the end of today's videos. We're really going to dive into the nitty-gritty on each of these abilities, so stay tuned until the very end of this episode. Don't miss out on that stuff. So let's go ahead and watch one more example of Hades using the reanimate ability. You can see he comes from the underworld rather than the heavens. It just wouldn't be right for him to drop down from the heavens. So you can see he throws that fireball with his punch there, and that has a chance of converting enemies into fallen skeletons. You can see right there. And then he uses the reanimate ability. It's kind of like I said, it's kind of like Athena's summon hoplites ability, where it's guaranteed to summon a X amount of skeletons. Depending on the level, that can be upgraded as well, but it also has a chance of converting enemy units. So let's go ahead and watch the Rot ability. The Rot ability is very powerful, especially against low hit point clusters of units, because it spreads and it's a damage over time effect. It's the first damage over time effect of the game, and I really like the idea of damage over time, and I love the idea that it spreads throughout the village. So using this damage over time Rot ability is going to require a lot of strategic impulse in terms of where you want to use it on the map, where you want to drop Hades on the map. He's a very versatile god, maybe more so than any other we've seen so far in terms of both ranged and melee unit, and in his utility is really vast. So let's go ahead and watch one more Raw example and then get to Cerberus, which I'm sure you guys have been waiting for. So again, he's just going ahead and battling units. You can see his hit points are pretty high here. All these soldiers not doing much damage against him, and then he uses the reanimate ability. He's going to use both abilities in this replay here. So first reanimate, you can see the skeletons doing some work there, and then he's going to go ahead and use the Rot ability to finish off what's left of this little kingdom village here. So now he's going to use the Rot. He's going to use it against the temple there, and then everything surrounding it is going to quickly damage over time, bleed into oblivion, and you can see just a very cool ability. But I do think the coolest ability that I've seen out of the 3 is summoning Cerberus. It is definitely cool. A lot of people on the forums, you can see him in action there. He's a beast, and his hit points are really high, higher than every god in the game, I believe, except for Athena. So he is an absolute monster, and he has a health bar just like the gods do. Look at him go. He's an absolute insane beast. And like I was saying, a lot of people on the forums have been requesting the addition of demigods, and in some ways Cerberus kind of fills that void of another type of character introduced to the game. We've never seen a unit that is summoned by a god like this, and look at him go. He's an absolute beast. He's very tanky, and it seems like he does a decent amount of damage too. So let's discuss all the abilities and get into the more nitty-gritty of their details. So reanimate has 3 functions. Number 1, it always summons armies of the dead regardless of what's around it. Number 2, it raises skeletons from recently killed soldiers in the area. Number 3, it converts enemy skeletons spawned by Hades buildings. And Rot hits buildings with intense damage over time that spreads to nearby buildings, ideal versus low hit point clusters of buildings. And now let's talk all about Cerberus. So like you saw, he has a health bar like other gods, and he has no timer on him, so he does not disappear until he's dead. And he cannot be manually controlled. He targets nearby troops and buildings, and he has a jump ability that can leap at targets that are far away from him. He has the same health as Athena, higher than most gods, and he can be upgraded to improve his stats. So guys, I'm super excited for the Hades update. I hope you guys are too, and I hope you enjoyed this sneak peek. Thanks for watching, and as always, take care.